Hello, I am Nathan, but the truth. Allow me to formally introduce myself. I am Nathan, the son of Isaac, the son of Herman, the son of Milton, the son of Milton, the son of Samuel, the son of Thomas. I am Hebrew. Now, later we'll come back to that, or you will come back to that after watching this video. You will understand why I delivered myself in such a way. It's very, very important to pay attention to the names, okay, and the time, because that goes all the way back to the 1700s. So, without further ado, let me delve into what's gotten everybody just so excited. The African Americans or ADOS that are on social media talking about Trump's scare tactic. Okay. This man got up and said that he, once elected president, will give police total immunity. Oh, this just scared the crap out of everybody. They're supposed to get all excited. But when he said that, he said it to thunderous cheers and roars. Now, this is days after learning of a woman who was just senselessly murdered in her kitchen by a police officer who just decided he just wanted to take her out. That's what he did. But now he's going to be charged. And the federal government stepped in, which is rare, totally rare for the federal government to step in and charge a police officer after they have murdered another civilian, mainly a black civilian. Okay. What the problem is that this man hasn't said anything that hasn't been done already. In 2012, the Supreme Court gave police total immunity. They already have had it. It came in the form of a black man was running from the police, unarmed. Okay, they knew he had no weapons, but they opened up fire and shot him in the back, killing him. That went all the way to the Supreme Court. In 2008, I never will forget, they had a police shooting in Columbus, Ohio, and they had the police union representative on that newscast talking about the shooting and saying that the Supreme Court is handling a case right now that's going to give way for these police shootings because it was justified, saying that the man in Columbus, Ohio was killed justifiably. He wasn't. But he was really laying the groundwork for what was to come. And they knew that case was going to make its way all the way to the Supreme Court because there was a lot of money behind it. Billions of dollars are spent to ensure that police have immunity. Now, the decision that the Supreme Court gave was if a policeman fears for his life or the life of another. And that's why they killed the guy. Saying that the police is psychic. He thinks that this guy, if he gets away from us, he could go out and kill someone else. And that is the justification for all police shootings in the United States of America. Because a policeman says, I feared for my life. Supreme Court gave him the right to say those words. Which is why you need to understand this. I don't like a lot of these studies, okay, that are done because I don't trust them. But when they acknowledge colleges and universities' involvement, then I know it can be verified because those colleges and universities, those students are the ones who's actually doing it, and it goes for their grade. And so this is not something that's just typed up or thought up. But I'm going to read this to you guys. It says, okay, let me put on my reading glasses because I don't want to make a mistake on this. I want you guys to know. Sorry for my crazy looking eyes, but you're going to have to deal with it. A research brief by the Police Integrity Research Group of Bowling Green State University found that between 2005 and 2019, 104 non-federal law enforcement officers had been arrested for murder or manslaughter. That's 104. Let's keep track of this. For an on-duty shooting. As of 2019, 80 cases had concluded, with 35 leading to convictions, though often on lesser charges. 18 were convicted of manslaughter, and 4 were convicted of murder. Okay? Now, understand, in the United States, there is, on average, 12 to 1,500 police killings, shootings, killings that resulted in death. That many in the United States every year. Every year. And to say that since they concluded on that up until 2024, there has only been 2 police officers that have been convicted of murder. Notably, what is it? George Floyd and Botham Jean, however you pronounce his name. Nobody else, you guys. So, of the thousands of people murdered by police, and you only getting, I can't even say less than 1%, because it's way less than 1% that are actually going to see the inside of a courtroom. And less than that, even that will even be found guilty. So they already have immunity. Okay, what in the fuck are you guys talking about? Oh, we can't have him in office. He gonna give police immunity. Well, Kamala Harris administration gave him immunity too. They never cracked down. Not one time did Joe Biden say to Merrick Garland, "Go get that guy and hook him up," because Bill Clinton did it with out in California. Y'all remember the beating, Rodney King beating? Bill Clinton called up his attorney general, who was a woman at the time, called her up, said, "Hey," and made it known to the people that he told her to go get that situation, because the courts found him not guilty. And Bill Clinton said, "I'll be goddamn." See, this is white America. This is the people you live with. But Bill Clinton seen that falling apart real quick. Oh, hell no. You white folks that fucked us up. Because see, now we done got them black folks mad. And to quell black folks, the U.S. government stepped in and charged them guys, which is what they could have done a long time ago. They have discretion on every police shooting. So does the state have discretion. They choose not to because it's not a problem with them. You live in terror. And you won't admit it. You want to sit around here and get mad at someone like me for telling you, "Hey, you need to do something about this. We need to stop it." I can stop it without firing a goddamn shot. But because I deal with the fear of my own people. So fearful of every damn thing when it comes to these devils doing their work. You want to worship them and call them gods and bow down to them and give them your children a slaughter. And then when I sit up and say foul, you get mad at me. Now, I know you guys love hearing these so-called justice fighters. They're not justice fighters. They're on the internet making hits and likes, showing you snuff films of black folk being shot and killed by police. And all they say is, "Oh, that show is wrong." And then you have the other ones, the ones that call themselves woke and talking about reparations and this, that. Well, what is reparation? Reparations is going to somebody, begging somebody, asking somebody. You don't have to ask for a damn thing. You're at the point now where that you can take total control. The greatest thing about what's going on in the world today is that these white people are so discontent and so full of hate and venom that they're ready to bring this goddamn country down. And all they doing is all about race, race, race. They're saying immigrants, but they call you immigrants. You have been here longer than most of them. None of them can go their generations back as far as I did. I went back there pretty far, didn't I? They can't. But they don't consider you an American. And you don't consider yourself American because you won't stand up. You think that you are supposed to be a part of their mess. And I keep telling you, they're going to burn the house down. Let them burn it down. Y'all, I'm serious. I went to the gas station. I got a can of gas and I got a damn good lighter. That damn thing, it light strikes every time. And I keep a book of matches in my back pocket in case I run out of fluid. Let's help them. I give them what they want. And what they want is for you to resist. Give them that. Stop talking about you have to vote for Kamala Harris. I get it. You identify with the melanin in her skin. Okay, I get that. But it's not about her. It's this whole system. The system's not going to change, period, ever, until you change it. So call your grandpa, Uncle Joe, and tell him, hey, I want y'all to get with Nathan. Nathan says he's going to fly you to the Philippines to sit down and have powwow with him because I'm going to open up a internet site. Okay? And that internet site is going to have one of the world's largest databases. It's going to be a database full of all these police officers who have committed felonies while on the job. And their posters, printed out posters, going to be going to those municipality areas. People are going to have them posters in their yard so that the kids can know who the bad guy is. Okay? That's going to be number one. Number two, we're going to set up town hall meetings all across the country. Okay? And we don't even have to ask for permission because, see, in this country, they have what's called freedom of assembly. And you better believe in every place we're going to have a town hall meeting, it's going to be in states that allow for open carry. So everybody's to come armed. And I guarantee there won't be no riot police out there trying to attack no bunch of black men who's heavily armed because you outnumber them 1,000 to 1. They ain't that damn stupid. They gonna let you have your meetings. So don't be sitting up here talking about, oh, we gotta ask permission. Massa, you better go ask Massa. No, I'm sorry. I don't play like that. I take what the fuck I want. And what I want is my brothers to get together with me. I'll get a few of you here, and we're gonna make some moves. Okay. Now I want you to listen to another brother. Now, unfortunately, I got to give you a little heads up on this brother. He's not interested in stopping anything. Okay. He's just like all the rest. He wants to make money off of hits and likes. But what he says is what you need to hear. Okay. Because so many of you are trapped in that mental state where that you don't know whether to take the red pill or the blue pill. And he can kind of help you with that. But again, he's just like all the rest. He don't want to see it stop. Trust me. There's a whole lot of them don't want this to stop because they won't make money. I'm talking about stopping it. That's why I don't have the backings that I do. Okay. But the backings is going to come with those who are going to enjoy seeing the great horror of the world tumble. because they know that that's going to only happen by their secret that they've been holding, which is the black man. So listen to this guy.
Being American isn't a citizenship, it's a condition. And once you realize that you have that condition, you can spend the rest of your life trying to recover from it. It's like PTSD. You have American dissonance syndrome. And if you reach adulthood and you're still patriotic, you have the most profound case of Stockholm syndrome imaginable, because that society has deeply, deeply wronged you. I mean, when you say that someone is an American, basically you're saying that they were an abused child, psychologically abused, emotionally abused, mentally abused, educationally abused, and abused in every other kind of way. You've been lied to. You've been programmed with dysfunction. Your intellect has been systematically degraded. Your intellectual and your moral depth has been deliberately depleted to make you shallow. Cognitive dissonance has been inflicted on you your whole life. When you say American, you may just as well say damaged or victimized. You come from a country that has a fabricated national identity around a set of values and principles it never, ever applied anywhere. And in fact, more often than not, only ever applied the opposite. You live in a country that is demonstrably and obviously an authoritarian oligarchy, but which you have been taught since childhood is a democracy. No one living in America today has lived under any administration that wasn't guilty of war crimes and crimes against humanity, committed both abroad and on domestic soil. And you've been brainwashed into thinking that your country stands for freedom and justice. Well, it's sick. Your education system is based on the Prussian system of indoctrination to turn every student into an obedient, conformist slave to power. But you pretend that your society cherishes individuality. They've done nothing but damage you. Your schools have damaged you. Your media has damaged you. Your entertainment, your fake history, your myths, your government have done nothing but damage you all your life. That's what it means to be an American. And part of that damage, one aspect of that relentless damage, is in the question itself. You're a white American, you said. That matters to you. And you force it to matter to everyone in that country, even though it's an actually completely irrelevant characteristic. But because of the way that you have developed as a so-called society, you made it relevant. And you made it an issue. And you insist on keeping it an issue. So you can never escape. I don't even get to make it irrelevant to me because of the racial history in America. The whole context of race in the United States is a self-perpetuating death spiral that never dies. You assign value to all of these characteristics that are actually the least valuable characteristics that a human being can have. I mean, why race? Why skin color and not eye color or hair color? Why not height? It's incredibly arbitrary and stupid. But you did what you did. You drew the lines where you drew the lines, and you sentenced whole segments of humanity to imprisonment within these shallow, superficial, meaningless definitions, which then created a long, disgraceful history of actual experience that millions upon millions of people have suffered for no reason. So everyone who grew up in America eventually has to pursue self-rehabilitation, deprogramming, repair, debugging, detoxification, just to try to undo all the damage that being American has done to them, just so they can try to be normal. To be American is to suffer from a multitude of chronic diseases. It's a condition, not a nationality. It's a condition that every serious and sincere person has to try to cure themselves of over the course of their adulthood. But for most of them, it's a terminal condition. They'll never get over it. They'll die that way. And the sickest part of it is that this condition, you're actually pressured to preserve it, to uphold it, to cherish it, rather than to abolish it. Just like your question, as if I'm doing something wrong by not basing my identity and my worldview and my understanding on the dysfunctional, reductionist definition of white American. I mean, look, for most of the people who are categorized as Americans and who claim American history as their history, who feel some sort of, connection to the so-called founding fathers, Paul Revere and what have you. Most of them only have even been over there for 2 or 3 generations. A smaller number than that's been over there for 4 generations, and very few, except for the descendants of slaves, have been over there since the beginning. The overwhelming majority of so-called Americans throughout most of American history, their families were somewhere else. It's the same with mine. The Irish side of my family came over during the potato famine, and the German side came over more recently than that. Yet, for some reason, we're all supposed to believe that we are all somehow connected to the history and the cultural heritage of that country, connected to people that we're not connected to in any way whatsoever, as if they are our ancestors. You know, they even call them our forefathers. What do I have to do with George Washington? America isn't a tribe. America is nothing but a blood-soaked piece of land that a ragtag horde of Europeans fled to escape Europe. And then it became a land that people fled to escape American foreign policy that pillaged their own countries. And you know, the people that have undeniably been so-called American longer than 99% of so-called Americans, the descendants of African slaves, are still treated like outsiders in a country that they've been in longer than most people. They've been there at least as long as the most pedigreed aristocratic so-called Mayflower families. I mean, just on seniority alone, they're supposed to be among the highest status citizens of that country. Their ancestors sacrificed more by force and for more generations than anyone living in America today. But until now, they have to fight just to be given equal rights and equal opportunities on par with people who just got off the boat 3 generations ago, 2 generations ago, 1 generation ago, or yesterday.
Now, does he hit it on the nail on the head or what? I mean, he describes you. All you got to do is look in the mirror. You know he's not lying about you. You have to turn around and say, do I want to continue like this or do I want to stop it? Okay. So for now, we'll talk at another time. Okay. And I love you. I am back quiet.